Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we are on the website of Tennants Auctioneers based in the UK. We've visited here before. They have an auction that is due to go live tomorrow, which will be Wednesday the 26th of May. And this auction is scientific and musical instruments, cameras and tools. Buyer's premium is 20% plus VAT, so that's 24% in total. Once, as always, read over, look at the website, look at the different kind of terms and conditions and shipping, etc. if you're outside of the UK. And without further ado, let's have a look at this auction, or just the musical instrument part. There's not a crazy amount of items, so it should be a fairly quick video. So here's a bundle of bows, nothing too much to see there. Another bundle of bows, over 15 bows. Cello, two-piece back, ebony fittings, looks like a fairly normal student one. Another cello here. Ooh, quite a lot of photos. Maybe they heard my comments on the last video. So, condition report: significant wear to back of neck from use. Instrument has marks from use and age. Only visual repairs appear to be lower right hand F hole up middle bout. Rear button shows some evidence of repair. Small crack in lower bass rib, 50mm. Also has a small crack from lower left hand F hole up to middle bout. So yes, interesting. So we have actually quite a lot of photos this time. The last Tennants auction was not great in the photos, but I guess this is a slightly higher value item, so you can see a bit more. They're not suggesting where it may have come from, but good to see anyway. Not the greatest of pictures. It would be good to see kind of the full back front on, then, rather than all of these kind of slightly small items, but it certainly looks like a fairly interesting cello. So good that it had more pictures anyway. Estimate 1500 to 2000, possibly worth viewing. Another cello here. This one, yeah, a bit studenty. Yeah, there you go. Andreas Zeller, Romania for Stenta Music, so not too exciting there. The internet is slow today. Cello bow, 696mm stamped Dodd, 73.6 grams. Frog shows some evidence of being glued, and a plug in it. Stick wear. Okay. No evidence of repair or damage to stick. Once again, it's quite of a high estimate. At least they've realised that if you've got a high estimate on an item, then you would do well to add some decent pictures. So can't fault them for trying there. Definitely a lot better than the last time. Yeah, you can see here that this has definitely had some damage, probably been dropped or something like that. Double play bass, gear for music, so another studenty instrument there. Viola, Oscar Bernard, Heinel, 1927. That's another kind of tradey student viola. Another viola labelled John Mather Harrogate, 2010, number 51. Viola appears to be in new condition, no visible faults, 200 to 300. Once again, they've got a few more pictures here. Picture of the scroll. Definitely looks interesting. Definitely good that they've got more pictures last time. See, I mean, it does seem like it could well be as stated on the label, it does kind of look slightly amateurish work. It's probably just really insulted someone there, but yeah, looks interesting. The scroll is a bit curious, some of this work in the peg box, but yeah, that could be interesting for someone. Viola bow, silver mounted, stamped Garner Wilson. Okay, 735, 71.3 grams. No sign of damage or repair. 500 to 800. Yeah, could be a nice bow. I think this one could have done with a few more pictures. Violin, Tetra by Rossetti. It's another trade instrument. Violin, student quality. Yeah, it's another one not too exciting, unfortunately. There's a violin, 13¼ inches, labelled Giovanni Paolo Maggini. Let's see. Well, at least we can see the front and the back. Looks kind of not that exciting. Some funny varnish potentially. Another violin. Looks once again fairly tradey with a bow. Not too exciting. There's another violin, decorative inlaid to fingerboard. Appears to be marked Kellett Bradford with 2 bows with ivory frogs cased. Interesting that they don't show the bows, because potentially the bows could be more interesting than the violin. Hard to say because you can't really look at the photos, but these F-holes are a bit wonky. The general work from these pictures that we have looks very amateur, but maybe the bows might be interesting. Another violin, looks like a trade instrument, not all that exciting. Another violin, once again another kind of trade instrument, vaguely more interesting than the last one. Violin, labelled Alex Smiley, Cross Hill, Glasgow, 1900, number 132. Has a small cracked scroll by A, peg on one cheek, some marks to varnish. 12 to 5, 1500. Looks like a better instrument all round. Some good, better pictures there. A quick look at some of this. Work certainly seems better than some of the other instruments that we've seen. Let's just have a look at this. Yeah, it definitely seems a slightly better made instrument there, so that's an interesting one. Another violin, one piece back, no label, 2 bows. Evidence of heel block being re-glued, cracked, break repaired to scroll, possible crack at lower end on the treble side, 3 to 500. Once again, this looks like a slightly better made instrument of the ones that we've seen so far. Pictures are a bit odd again. Not sure what's making them take some of these photos. Bows look fairly standard. Could be an interesting instrument to look at in person, I think, with a few better images. Another violin, John Mather Harrogate again, number 23, cased. This looks slightly better than some of the other ones. 2 to 300. Could be interesting, probably worth looking at in person, I would have thought. Another violin, label Ludwig Gleisel, number 117, 1927, printed signature, 2 bows, 1 stamped Erich Steiner. Evidence of crack repair in soundpost area. Also shows some evidence of having been removed and re-glued. Looks fairly kind of uninspiring, but don't know, could be interesting. I think a lot of these instruments you really just want to have a look at them in person. I'd say the bows don't look anything too exciting, but maybe if it goes for a low price it's not too bad. Another violin, labelled Briani Cipriano Vincentino. No evidence of repairs. 800 to 1200. Have a quick look at some of these images. Looks fairly standard, but once again I have to give credit that they put a bit more effort on the photos this time around. That's always good. Another violin, labelled Barrel d'Esprit Stradivari, with bow in remains of case. Interesting. Okay. Another violin, no label. This again looks fairly standard, but maybe not too bad a price. Another violin, labelled Giovanni Pistucci, Napoli, 1889. Some damage to wood under tailpiece from metal adjusters. General marks to front and back from age and use. Cracks have been repaired in upper bass side rib. Lower rib, top and bottom around end button has had some repair and requires attention. Scroll stroke pegbox has had cheek repair on the left hand side. 2 to 2,500. So they are game for this. They are liking this instrument. I mean, it could be interesting. Definitely looks a bit better made than some of the other things that we've seen. I think would require closer inspection. I think on this case I'm not entirely convinced of that. Another violin, manufactured in Berlin. 3 bows, 1 stump Camilli and 1 Bausch. Looks like a fairly standard instrument again. But once again, kudos for the better pictures. Bows, not overly exciting, but once again worth a bit of investigation. Another violin, makes label K. Adams, Bishop Auckland, 19th of June 1981, with bow stamped Joe Schneider in a soft case. Very yellow, golden yellow. See a bit of that label there. I mean, it's entirely possible. Yeah, oh, could be an okay instrument. Right, so we've gone past bowed strings. So a Yamaha flute 211S in a hard case, good condition, needs a bit of a clean. A saxophone, the Buscher elk card. There's a lot of pictures on this. Saxophone appears to have been re-lacquered. Has been serviced. Interesting. Epiphone Les Paul Standard Pro Blue Sunburst, 120 to 180. Some fretware. I think we might have skipped something there. Oh, the dreaded failure of the internet again. Oh dear, that's unfortunate. Oh, maybe that was actually, maybe there was a gap in the we are losing the internet, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to try and get back to the catalogue somehow. Let's see what is occurring here. Okay, so there is no 3030. Okay, so 2 electric guitars, Tokai, an SX Les Paul. I don't think it warrants looking at all those pictures. 2 electroacoustic guitars, Tanglewood. Yeah, nothing too exciting there. Bass guitar with headstock badge, marquee bass. Some bows and recorder. That's a bit random. 3 cello bows and a recorder. Well, that is a strange lot, if ever I saw one. Well, if you want a bass guitar, some recorders and some cello bows, then there you go. Right, Bruno Royal Artist 4-string banjo. There you go. Looks quite nice. I'm not too au fait with banjos. Clifford Essex and Sons Special XX 5-string banjo. Wear to frets, some dishing of fingerboard from use. Small part of mother of pearl has been replaced in first fret. No cracks. That's the old mother of pearl inlay. Clifford Paragon 5-string banjo. Clifford Paragon tenor 4-string banjo. It's good if you like banjos. Epiphone recording artist tenor 4-string banjo. Have a quick look at some of this. Epiphone recording looks quite interesting. George Washburn 5-string banjo. Serial number 1570. All lugs appear to be present and matching. Measurements from nut to 12th fret, 343 millimeters. We've got some extra pictures here for some reason, so let's dig in and see. It looks like they've got all the banjos nicely laid out somewhere in their auction house. Paragon Artist 4-string banjo, 22 frets. Let's put a quick look here. WML Langer Artist Professional Super Paramount 4-string banjo. It's an interesting looking thing. I think some nice looking banjos here for sure. Another WML Langer Paramount or Lang 4-string banjo, a bit more plain. Another WML Lang Paramount style 4-string banjo. Okay, a banjolele, a melodeon, and a violin, stentor violin. So that's another mixed lot. Bass, clarinet, mouthpieces. Okay. Ooh, a Moog Opus 3 Model 339BX synth. Synth appears to be in reasonable cosmetic condition. All switches appear to be physically functional, as do sliders and control knobs, although the item remains electrically untested, therefore working condition unknown. I mean, that could be quite cool. Would love the old Moog synths. A large interchangeable bells and view cylinder music box, circa 1881. Interesting if you're interested in mechanical musical instruments. Do find them quite interesting, although I know very little about them, although I probably have some books somewhere that I've never read about mechanical musical instruments, or musical boxes as well. Another musical box, almost certainly by B.A. Bremond, circa 1890. Four speakers, Mordaunt Short Limited Pageant Series. I feel that we may be near the end. Yes, I think this is it, because now we are on to records. So that was the extent of the musical instruments section of this auction. Not as big as it has been previously. Some better pictures, so I think that's positive for some of the good items. There's nothing that's really jumped out at me. Possibly I'd want to look at some of the violins. This viola bow, stamped Garner Wilson, looks interesting. We'd possibly want to look at that closer in person, but otherwise, yeah, a fair little auction. Not the greatest selection, but better pictures than last time, so we can't complain. So I think, yeah, this was Tennants, and this is the auction goes live tomorrow. So if you're interested, check out the link in the description. So once again, thanks for checking out the Musical Instrument Investigator, and we shall catch you next time. And ciao for now. Many thanks for tuning in to the Musical Instrument Investigator. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and watch out for the next video coming soon.